Hi everyone, Stephanie here from Vegan Mainstream, and I'm excited because we are back for our segment called Ask Steph. Now, this is a segment we do once a month in partnership with Vegan Biz Media. And this is an opportunity for vegan business owners out there to ask any question about building, starting, creating, or launching a vegan business. I love doing these because it's a great opportunity for us to kind of give candid feedback on things that you guys are thinking about and considering. So if you have a question, feel free to always tweet us at Vegan Biz Media or at Vegan Mainstream. Just use the hashtag AskSteph, and that way we'll see your questions and we can get it set up for our next video. So for today, we had a great question come in, and specifically, this person is starting a vegan cafe. But this, I really think, applies to everyone out there who's starting a business. And the question was about how early to launch your marketing. You know, if you're kind of still in that pre-launch phase, should you launch marketing? Should you get your social media feeds going, building communities, and so forth? Or should you wait until things are kind of nailed down? In this example, the person asked when they have a premise or a location nailed down. And my answer to that is start as early as you can. Even if you don't have a premise, even if you don't have maybe your business name 100% nailed down or your logo's not 100% there, definitely start your marketing. Now, when is the right balance between kind of being 100% there and I guess zero where you're first starting? If I had to put a metric on it, I would probably say you want to be about 60% of the way there. And what I mean is you want to be fairly confident in what are the products or services that you're offering. Don't have to know 100% of what you're going to offer, but about 60%. Is it food? Is it food with a twist? Is it gluten-free? If it's a service, is it coaching? Is it consulting? And so forth. And then from there, we want to have a good understanding of what's unique about your business. Why would someone choose you out of everyone else out there that maybe offers something similar? So that unique value proposition or that aspect that really will kind of drive the community to connect with your business versus another one. You want to have that one pretty well defined and nailed down. And then ultimately the vision for your business. Where do you see it going? Where do you see yourself, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now? Having that general concept down is going to be very important in the pre-launch phase. And the reason being is when you start to go public and you haven't really maybe nailed down the majority of the details in your business, often you're opening yourself up for influence, for information, for context that may start to define your business slightly different. And what we want to make sure is you're building on a solid foundation with that advice from your community. You're not building on something that's shaky, that's like, oh, I could go this direction, I could go that direction, because you can end up in a place where you kind of don't move forward because you're not sure where to go. So I want you to be a little bit more confident. I want to make sure you understand the products, the offering, why you're doing what you're doing, so that when you're kind of flooded maybe with that customer feedback and advice, or not just from, I shouldn't say customers, but potential customer feedback, and then from your friends and other people in the world, you want to make sure you're ready to be able to digest that and turn that into valuable currency, let's in a sense say, for your business to make a strong decision on choosing A versus B. Because what I find is these tools are really, or this purpose of building this community is really more for not only marketing purposes, but also for kind of a feedback channel. So I don't want you to confuse this with they're going to help you make all the major decisions in your business. You're still the CEO or running this business, or if you have a partner, you guys are still the decision makers in the business. You're going to get conflicts. You're going to get information that says you should go right and left. So you still have to put yourself and see yourself in that driver's seat. I don't want you to think that that responsibility is taken off your shoulders. Instead, what this community can do is probably three things. Number one, they can help you choose between maybe something that's close. If you've got something that you're like, it could be A, could be B, they can help you maybe distinguish between why A might be better than B. Or if you have something that's a long shot, something that you're like, this is a big risk, I'm thinking about going this direction, they can help you maybe find big gaps in issues or things that maybe you hadn't thought about. And then the last way to use your community is really to help you prepare for your launch. Prepare for things like grand openings. Prepare for things like a book coming out on XYZ date. Prepare for things like if you're going to launch with maybe a free program for your consulting or coaching or training program, they may be your pilot group. So think about kind of, and this is happy, I would say, my second piece of advice on starting with this idea of marketing pre-launch is think about your goal in mind. What do you want to use this community for? How will you leverage them? Because the more that you have a better understanding of how to leverage this community, you'll have a better idea or concept of when it's time to launch. And like I said, 60% is my general number when you kind of have a good foundation of those three items I mentioned before. But when you start to also develop your goal, you'll get an idea of, okay, if my goal is to really get people excited, engaged, and get feedback on how I'm going to promote my book, then you know that, okay, I need to make sure I have the book done before I'm going to start my pre-launch group. If you're looking for feedback on things like menu items, maybe design ideas in the restaurant and so forth, or the cafe, then that starts to lead into, okay, I need to make sure I get my community up and running before I choose my premise because I want them to help me with that process. If you're just going to be using them for promotional purposes, meaning grand opening or book launch or free program, then you're probably going to wait a little bit closer to your launch. You're probably looking 60 days, 90 days out. Okay. Now you can do this a year to 6 months out as well. It really just depends on who you are and the stage you're in your business. As a general rule, I would probably tell most people that you're going to start doing your pre-launch promotions about 90 days before the day you're going to launch, because that's a good, comfortable time for people to learn about your business. It's a good, comfortable time that you should be fairly far along in the process of what your business is and how it works and, how you're going to help the community and so forth. And it's also a good kind of tight timeline so you can keep that engagement going with your community. Okay. Now let's talk about maybe a couple of advice I'd like to give you if you are going to move forward with this strategy, because there are some common pitfalls and I would love to be able to, help you avoid it. So we talked about starting with a goal in mind, but a part of that goal is going to be, how do you reward your community? How do you let people know and show appreciation for them taking their time to support and to help you? One of the biggest challenges out there is everyone's strapped for time. So if you want people to take the extra measure and take the extra time to give you feedback, to give you advice, to follow along, to show up for pre-launch parties or events or feedback sessions, you want to keep in mind, how are you going to thank them? When I say reward them, I'm not trying to say that, it has to be a financial, in a sense, reward. The idea is just some level of either recognition, thanks, or you can do things like give them a coupon, especially if you're offering a vegan cafe, give them a coupon for the first week that you're open. If you're doing a book launch, give them a free chapter to your book, or maybe they can pre-order your vegan t-shirts in advance, then they don't have to wait in for the general public. Or like I said, coupons are always good, free shipping, things like that. So try to think about how you will consistently thank them. If you're on that 90-day timeline, like I said, I'd probably say you need about 2 or 3 rewards. You want to do something each month to just show appreciation for them taking their time to help you in your business and build your business. The other thing I want you to think about before you get started is the type of content, the type of information you're going to share. And the reason this is important is for many people, it's easy to get busy when you're starting your business. There's all these little responsibilities and requirements and things that pop up. And for many people, they either fall short on when will I communicate? How often will I communicate? And that's stuff you can decide up front. Say once a week, 3 times a week. Make that commitment to yourself, but ultimately to your community, because now you're starting to set expectations. They know when and how you're going to communicate and kind of what's going to be the relationship for the next 90 days. The other thing is about content is consider using this as kind of like a backstage pass. And the reason I say that is people like to know the backstory, why you started your cafe. Maybe it's because your kids developed a gluten intolerance and you found that most people struggle to go to restaurants because most restaurants, why they tend to accommodate people with gluten intolerance or gluten challenges, it's very hard because it's hard to have a kind of gluten-free kitchen if there is any gluten floating around. So the idea is tell people the backstory, why this is important to you, why they can maybe connect with you on that kind of semi-personal level. If you don't have a personal story, that's fine. Just share. If you're doing a cafe, share the locations that you're considering and tell people why you're picking one versus another. Share maybe the design ideas for the cafe. Maybe share before and after pictures of certain maybe decor that's being done. If you're doing a service-based business, same idea. If you're thinking about creating different coaching businesses or programs or products, let people know I'm thinking about doing this program, or I built this program, or woof, I just finished the 10 videos for my online training course. You're going to love it. What happens is it gets them engaged early on. They also get to see the hard work that you've put into it. Often that's kind of hidden behind the scenes, but you have an opportunity here for people to kind of see the investment you've made in this, and many people will appreciate that. So getting that backstage pass will not only give people kind of a level that they'll feel kind of privileged or like the fact that you shared it with them, but it also gives you an opportunity to create connections and deep connections before we even get to the sale phase, before you're asking them to buy. And what you'll find is that's going to create kind of a long-lasting relationship, whether they become a customer or in the end, they may become just an amazing ambassador for you, where they talk about your products, your services, and let people know about all the great things you have going on. And then the last tip I'd like to give is not just to do social media when you do your pre-launch promotions, is to add email to that campaign. And the reason I say that is email is such a great marketing tool. It has such great tracking mechanisms on it. And also, it's really, truly a strong sales marketing tool. So when it does get to the time when you need to start generating customers, generating sales, you'll have a tool in place that can really take you there. You're not going to start with just maybe social awareness. What I want you to do is start with true marketing tools that can help propel your business and get you to that phase where you can be financially stable in your business, because that's ultimately what we want to do. We want to build strong, healthy vegan businesses. And by starting to build tools like email marketing early, you're going to be well on the way. So with that, I hope you guys are excited. Any of those folks out there who are planning businesses, starting businesses, and have struggled with this question, I hope I've kind of convinced you, or maybe given you a little bit more confidence in your decision to start to build a community, to start to do some of this pre-launch promotion and prepare yourself. I mean, it's going to be an interesting time because your business isn't 100% baked, and I'd probably say honestly, no business is 100% baked. We all develop and change and grow over time. But getting used to the fact that, you may be going public before you have everything in place. So being comfortable with that space is really, really important. But as you do this, you'll also learn, like I just mentioned, that your business will continue to grow. You'll continue to change, and you'll have to learn how to manage being in the public eye and getting that public opinion, feedback, and information, digesting it, helping you make great decisions with it, but also understanding that you're going to be kind of living out loud as a business owner here. And by doing it in the pre-launch phase, you'll get stronger and stronger and better at it after you've launched as well. Okay, so with that, I'm going to wrap up today's session of Ask Stephanie. I'm so excited you guys joined us here. If you have any questions, always post them down at the bottom of the page. I love questions. If you have a new question for us for our next recording of Ask Steph, please tweet us at Vegan Biz Media or at Vegan Mainstream. Just use the hashtag #AskSteph, and that way we'll see your question and we'll hopefully be able to address it in our next video segment. All right, with that, take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye.